We're very fortunate tonight to be sitting here with just a legend in the history of rock and roll. This is Dick Clark.
Thank you, Dan, very much. That's a glorious introduction. I can hardly wait to hear what I'm going to say now.
Well, you know, the general public just wonders how you continue on and on. We were pleased with the shows that have come on TV, 5th birthday.
Oh, yes.
And once again, it brought out to the people who don't watch on Saturday any longer that Dick Clark is still going strong and very positive in the industry right now.
Yeah, I think that's part of the secret of all kinds of life. You got to keep finding new horizons to look to or fields to conquer, something, that adds a little spice into your life. I always try to do something different. Some things I've never done before.
That's great. I was very pleased with the production that you put out on the Elvis Presley
You
movie
were
just
pleased, Dan.
recently.
I was so pleased. I was proud as a peacock because they threw us in there against Gone with the Wind and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and we beat them both.
Knocked them dead.
I should say Elvis beat them both because that's a tribute to the phenomenon of that man. The film now, by the way, is going out theatrically in the United States, Canada, and all over the world. So
Great.
many more million people will see it. That makes me very happy for Kurt Russell, who's got to win an award for that one.
Oh, I just thought it was great. And I understand there's a rumor going around that possibly Colonel Parker might use him in another movie, in something that Parker would put out. Is
He's
this true?
trying to convince Kurt, since he saw him in our film, to do his film. My guess is I would doubt that Kurt would want to perpetuate that because he OD'd on Elvis. I mean, he did so much of it. It was very difficult for him the last few days. I don't think he wants to spend the rest of his life doing Elvis. And the strange part about it is it's going to be hard to find somebody that well. The thing I heard was they were going to use John Davidson.
Oh,
Now,
I know that
that's
John
not
Davidson
a bad
had
idea.
asked for that type of part.
Yeah.
He's one of the people. I hear Travolta applied for that part also in the Parker type thing. I can't see it myself.
I don't think Travolta is. I think that's just a rumor. But the Davidson thing, Davidson is managed by Jerry Weintraub, who's producing the film. The biggest problem John will have is his dimples.
Yes.
We had trouble with Kurt. Elvis had no dimples, so you have to pretty much do the part without smiling. But the real truth of it is the look-alike aspect is only a fraction of what has to be done. Kurt created
He sure did.
the essence of the man. Somebody asked me earlier tonight if his speaking voice was dubbed in because he sounded so much like Presley. No, it was his voice.
Well,
the singing voice was
this
not.
is, I think, what Davidson would have trouble with. Kurt
Yeah.
got into that part so much that he almost became the Presley, and that's exactly what you want in an actor, along the lines of Gary Busey recently.
Yeah,
he
but
did
it was easier for Gary because not that many people were intimately acquainted with
True.
Buddy Holly. But
True.
every human being in the world knows Elvis Presley.
True.
Knows what he looked like, he talked, he sang. It was an extraordinary job.
Right,
don't
I
know how
guess
he did it.
Busey's toughest part was losing the weight. Evolution of pop music, he could bring it right from the ink spots right on through and how groups evolved and this sort of thing. But you were speaking about somebody who I know is very dear to you, Bobby Darin.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that you didn't think he was a superstar, but I think Bobby Darin would be ideal for a movie because of the changes that he went through. He went through very tough
it's-
times with, just fantastic.
And you don't know half the story. And sometime when we're not speaking in public, I'll tell you the story of Bobby Darin. It's one of the most fascinating in the world. Dramatically, and what happened to Bobby in his life and even in his death, it's an extraordinary script. What I was saying was, unlike Elvis Presley, the name Bobby Darin is not a worldwide phenomenon. He was my closest show business friend, so you're speaking to someone who loves him a lot. But we are indeed talking to the estate about doing his story.
I think it would be great because the things that he went through and overcame. I just think he was a sensational person, artist, and just a great performer. Now, we all know about what you've done. We're all very familiar with that. What are you planning in the future? Do you have any goals?
How much time do you have here?
Well, I know that you spoke about something very interesting to me, the Beatles.
I'll tell you about the next project because, in truth, my philosophy is you should always have a lot of things to go to in case anything else doesn't work out. And when they all happen at once, it becomes chaotic. I started 2 years ago on the Elvis project at the same time, on the same day. By the way, the Elvis thing was again, put together before he died. I keep repeating that because I don't want people to think I thought it was a brilliant idea the day he died to do his life story. I was going to do it whether he was alive or, unfortunately, as it was, he passed away. Same day I sold that film to ABC, I sold him an idea I had, The Birth of the Beatles. Not the well-known story of what happened to them and turned the world upside down, but how did they get together?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever happened to Pete Best? Whatever happened to Stuart Sutcliffe, the original members of the group?
Mm-hmm.
What influenced them? Who was in the background? What did they listen to? How did they get to that point to become world changers? And we're filming that in June, July, part of August in Liverpool, London, and Hamburg this summer, and you'll see it next fall.
Great. You using anybody that we know of? For instance,
Nope.
the people in the New York cast?
No, it's an all-English cast,
Mhm.
an all-English crew.
Look alike or sound alike? Or a little of both?
Well, hopefully they'll bear some resemblance, as Kurt had some resemblance to Presley by the time he got through with the makeup. In life, he doesn't. If you walk in here now, you wouldn't immediately say, oh, you're the guy who played Elvis Presley.
Right.
That was one of the things he was terribly concerned about, that he would be so identified with that role he'd have to live with it the rest of his life. And I said, you don't look any more like Elvis Presley in The Man in the Moon.
That's true. I always identified him with Walt Disney.
Performance. In any case, you can rest assured that I'll have some other things to tell you about the next time we get together.
Very good. We're looking forward to that, and we thank you very much for coming by tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Is that a wrap?
That was easy enough.
Jose Jimenez?
It's not my job. We do one with our calls.
What is the call letter, please?
We've got two. Let me write them down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Who's who?
Well, this is us.
That's the
So
school.
it's FM.
Right.
They're both, the call
Both
letter is
FM.
WRUR FM, WVOR FM.
Got
right?
it.
What do you want me to say, guys? Anything in particular?
Just something nice.
You're listening to, that sort of thing?
Off the top of your head?
No. What's the nature of the format? Was it a little bit of everything?
We're progressive jazz and classical.
Mine is ours.
Wow.
Ours is about a third new, 2/3 oldies.
Oh, here we go. Are you rolling?
Yeah.
Hi, this is Dick Clark, and you're listening to WRUR FM. I like the beat, and it's easy to dance to, especially the classics. Hi, this is Dick Clark, and you're listening to WRUR FM. How many hours a day? Anything else like that I should know? Any catchphrases?
20 hours a day. 7 a.m. to 3 a.m.
Hi, this is Dick Clark, and any day, 7 a.m. to 3 a.m., you'll be listening to... No. Hi, this is Dick Clark with a reminder... You're not going to use that one, are you? Hi, this is Dick Clark. 20 hours a day, you can catch the best here on WRUR FM.
I guess we're the only oldie station in town, but we are playing a third new also,
Okay.
so it's not as if we're in the dark.